to you live this morning from the Mushroom Kingdom, WKBAG Studios. Wario, K. Rule, Bowser, and Scan, and this video game is a comedy show. I'm your host, Jeremy Schmidt, and hello. As a reminder to folks listening to the podcast, we are actually live on Twitch right now. Hello to those watching right now on Twitch. Go nuts in the chat if you're feeling social. But just so everybody knows, Fridays, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'll be streaming live to Twitch. It's a new thing. Am I nervous about it? No, I'm not. It's going to go good. It's going to go great. We have a great panel lined up for you today, including the co-host of the Nintendo Cartridge Society, author of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles IDW Sourcebook, Patrick Ehlers. Hello.
Hello. Thank you for having me. I'm wearing my Nintendo World Championships hat.
Oh, you got a hat?
Whoa.
Yeah,
Did they give? Was that a pre-order bonus?
It was not. It cost 1,200 platinum points from my Nintendo.
Aerith. It's Aerith. And you are?
Patrick!
Welcome to the show, Patrick. It's
Thank
good
you.
to have you. Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
great to be here.
Yeah, and we have somebody else on the show today. Producer of the hit short film Forefathers and my very own wife, Jaclyn Chavira. Hello.
Hello. Hi.
Welcome to the program, Jackie. This is your third time on the show, I think. Or second.
It's my second, I thought. I know I did one episode with you during the pandemic, right?
Well, but then we did the double date episode. We did a video game double date with Michael, Hearn, and Kelsey.
Yeah, you're right. So
Yeah.
this is my third time. My third time in 300 episodes.
Yeah, every 100, you get one. Okay, are you ready for your 2024 sound effect?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Wow.
Doesn't that song
cool.
rock? I found out
That
about that
song
song
rocks.
today. That song pretty much
That's incredible. What
That's
is
a real
that?
that's a real
it
song.
slays. It's a song from the 80s. It's called Jackie.
That's
Cool.
tight.
And she's
Yeah.
talking about how she's thinking about Jackie in the heat of the night and stuff. It's like sexy and the video's all sexy.
Ooh, that's hot. I
Anyways,
like that.
guys, I'm so happy. I'm thrilled to be here. Of course, the title of this episode is called Nintendo World Championships NES Edition Save My Marriage. What does that mean? We don't know. We'll get into it in the main event, but I can't I cannot wait to talk to my panel here about what they've been playing. Patrick Ehlers,
What?
show them how it's done, baby. Show them how it's done.
Oh, so we're going to talk about what we've been playing?
Yes.
I have, of course, been playing the Nintendo World Championships, but it feels like maybe that's like main event stuff.
Don't you fucking dare talk about it before the main event. How dare you even bring that name up?
Should I bring up the gold cart?
Dude, so it looks like you got the special edition. You got the little special
Yeah.
edition? Yeah.
Yeah, you better believe I did.
That thing is so sick. I got it too. It comes with pins, but we'll talk about it later.
I'm sorry.
Have you been playing anything else?
Well, I recently finished Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, the remake of the 3DS game, and I loved it.
Oh, wow. Okay. Tell me more, because I was not expecting to hear you say this.
You were not expecting which part?
The Luigi's Mansion of it all. I was just not
okay.
expecting it. I'm completely thrown off. Tell me all about it.
So, you know, as they were like showing off that like, hey, we're remaking this game, or at least like porting it from 3DS, I was like, ooh, it looks like you could have done more work on bringing this thing into 2024. It's looking rough. And also I was like, you know, if I really wanted to play this game, I would have done so on the 3DS. I own a copy of it. And I think I got, you know, maybe like into the second mansion or something. And, you know, I feel like with most Luigi's Mansion games, I play them for about 4 hours. And then I'm like, I'm done with this. I don't need more struggling to control Luigi.
It could be like Luigi's apartment and you'd be done.
yes.
You'd be done in time.
I mean, maybe like Luigi's house, right? Like a bungalow. Luigi's bungalow.
Luigi's bungalow. Yeah. If it
that's
was
right.
Luigi's bungalow, 4 hours tops.
I'd clear it out.
You'd
It'd
clear
be
it
great.
out. Yeah.
I'd get all the ghosts. They'd all be gone. I'd get all the gems.
Does the mansion does the mansion belong to Luigi in Luigi's Mansion?
Oh, great
It
question.
depends. It depends. In the first Luigi's Mansion, I think he wins a contest or something, right? And the
And
prize,
that's part of the prize? It's a mansion?
the prize is a haunted mansion. This may not be right. He definitely wins a vacation to a hotel in the third one.
Yes, him and all of his friends, I believe.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the hotel is the mansion in this case. They're playing fast and loose with the name of the game. But in 2, they are just like mansions in a valley. There's like 5 of them, 5 separate haunted mansions, and they're all like themed around a different thing. One of them is like a greenhouse. Another one is like snowy. One is like a clockwork mansion.
A clockwork mansion.
Yeah. You ever see that movie 13 Ghosts?
Actually, no, I haven't seen it, but
What?
it's like disgusting, right?
Yeah, it's super gross.
Okay, yeah.
But in any event, yes, so I played Luigi's Mansion 2, and so the game, unlike the rest of the games in the series, each mansion is broken up into a handful of different missions. So Professor Egad sends you out, you do the one thing that he tells you to do, and then he sort of teleports you back to home base to reset it again. And each mission, sort of like a Mario 64 level, has like its own specific configuration for the mansion and your own like specific task for that. It makes it all feel very like regimented and like I need to accomplish this, and then it kicks me out, and then I accomplish something else. It kicks me out, and then I accomplish something else. Instead of the first and third games, which are much more like go in, accomplish to your heart's content, and then eventually you'll be done.
Yeah, it's like the other 2 games I feel like are more in line with like what a Resident Evil
Absolutely, yes.
is, you know, and this and the one you're talking about is specifically novel in that way, and that it's like little bites for your little handheld.
Yes, well, and that's the thing, right? Is that it was designed for the 3DS. And I think part of what I bumped up against on the 3DS is that those bite-sized chunks, as you're doing them for the first time, like you can get them down to like, and they score you on these things, but like you can get them down to like under 10 minutes. But your first time through it, it's going to be like half an hour, 45 minutes to get through one of those chunks. And that's just a little too long for that like handheld bite-sized thing. But on the TV, my God, it just works so perfectly. And I kind of just like built up this momentum and couldn't stop. And then I finished the game and I had a really good time.
Oh, that's great. So all around positive review of Luigi's Mansion 2 HD.
Yep. It still doesn't look great. It still is a 3DS game.
That sucks.
It
sucks that it doesn't
suck.
look great, you know?
It yes. Oh, well, I know that it sucks. But
you know that it sucks that it doesn't look good.
on the
Do you
other
know that?
hand, I
Wait,
do
does
know.
the HD mean like HD, like high definition?
Yeah.
So there's a Luigi's Mansion 2, and then they'd re-release this like HD one.
Yes. So it was originally called Luigi's Mansion 2 Dark Moon.
Dark Moon.
Oh,
And
wow.
then for the re-release, they said no subtitle.
just high
Just 2.
definition.
Well,
Yeah.
that subtitle was always getting very confused with Transformers Dark of the Moon.
I had to stop myself just now to not say
Right?
Dark of the Moon. Yes.
Exactly. Because I think they even might have released similar windows.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Who's to say? We can't look it up, but
No, and we never will.
I will just say that on the 3DS,
I would just say,
Luigi's. I'm gonna say
I'm not going to say.
on the 3DS, Luigi's Mansion 2 was very like novel. I'll use that word again. Novel. I was like, ooh, this is so crazy and interesting. I'm playing this on the go. I never finished it, but I remember liking it. Okay. I want to get this HD one, but it not looking good kind of bums me out. But you thought the gameplay was great.
Here's the thing is that like I know that it doesn't look great, but I play it for like 5 minutes and then I stop thinking about it, you know? Like it's just not an issue because you're just like in it and the atmosphere is killer. And like the designs are all good. It's just not, you know, the models aren't super detailed.
Yeah. Well,
So I think I'm coming in with a Luigi's Mansion ranking. I'm doing it right now.
oh, here we go.
Live.
Hold on.
Yep.
We gotta get some sounds going for this.
Great. At number 3, Luigi's Mansion. Number 2, Luigi's Mansion 3. Number 1, Luigi's Mansion 2.
What the absolute? Wait, so that's your number 1, Luigi's Mansion?
It's the only one I've finished.
Wow.
And the only one that I've loved at any point.
And suspiciously the only one without Gooigi in it. So interesting, Mr. Ehlers. I guess someone's not a fan of Gooigi.
Look, I've been on record before that Gooigi can go to hell. I hate him.
Yeah, wow. Well, I definitely want to check that out. Maybe it will entice me to finally finish that game. I rank them almost completely the opposite. My favoritist one, Luigi's Mansion 1, baby, where it all began, where the original sin occurred. Number 2, Luigi's Mansion 3. I freaking love that hotel, man. I'll take a room in that hotel.
No, it's
Give me
haunted.
The penthouse suite, baby. I'll take that. And then number 3, Luigi's Mansion 2. But I love them all. What great games. Okay. Jackie.
Oh, no.
What have you been playing is going to be tough.
What have I been playing?
How about just what have you been doing? What have you been doing? I'm so curious. What are you up to?
Wow. Yeah. What have I? Well, I actually thought earlier about this question because I know that you always ask everybody this question. So I do have an answer ready for you. So what have I been playing? The time frame is it's definitely subjective, but
Okay.
I've been playing the game that we're going to talk about.
Yes, but we can't talk about it now.
We can't talk
or
about
I'll
what it is.
scream,
And we can't
and
say
or
the
I won't
name.
stop
Yeah.
screaming. Okay.
I've been playing Until Dawn.
Oh yeah.
Before Dawn.
Oh.
Before Dawn.
No, Until Dawn.
Until
You had
Dawn.
You had it right the first time.
Okay. That one. I've been playing that with you, which was great.
Totally forgot we started playing
Yeah.
that.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Oh man, that's a great answer. Oh, Rami Malek's
And it's a true
Until
answer.
Dawn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hayden
it's
Panettiere's Until Dawn.
It is so weird seeing those
Yes.
people supposed to be like their video game true self. I'm like, whoa, it is. I'm not a big fan of Uncanny Valley stuff. Like it really freaks me out. So that game is doubly terrifying for me.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to attempt an impression of somebody in Until Dawn PS4. Ready? We gotta get out of here.
Oh, I thought we were gonna have to like guess who it was, but it was just like any of them.
It's any of them. Just put different wigs on me and it's different characters. Yeah. Yeah. Their
That is
heads,
true.
because their heads are always having a hard time staying up on their necks is part of it. Yeah.
They're like newborn babies, but like
Mhm.
fully human newborn babies. Like they can't support their own heads, and then
Yes.
their eyes also can't focus really.
Right.
Or it's like they're Stevie Wonder, right? They're just
Right.
like,
yeah.
Exactly.
Here's a question though, and I guess I do know the answer, but when you're playing Until Dawn, any spooks and scares?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. How do I answer that? Like a specific one?
Yeah, like do you find it scary, or are you finding it just like fun, or more, because sometimes scary stuff is more just like it's fun to be like hanging out in this premise
No, I think it got
more
me.
than it is scary.
It got me a couple times. You mean
Yeah.
like, is it Luigi's Mansion scary, or is it
Yeah,
like regular
actually,
scary?
that's a great comparison, because Luigi's Mansion it's like fun to hang out in this spooky premise, but it's not
Mhm.
scary.
yeah,
Right.
it's Haunted Mansion level scary.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think it got me a couple times with like a couple jump scares
Yeah.
before Until Dawn.
Until Dawn.
Yeah. And then I have another thing I've been playing.
This is unprecedented.
I want to hear that, but first I just have to know if that's the first time, Jeremy, that anyone has asked you, how am I supposed to answer that on this show? Because I think everyone who's been on the show has wanted to ask that before. I've never heard it voiced.
Oh man.
Yeah. Jackie will get to the bottom of it in a way. Other people might not feel comfortable. Okay. Jackie, what else have you been playing?
And I always mess up the title of this one too. Overcooked.
Over easy cooked, baby.
Over easy-
Hell yeah. Over easy cooked.
I
Yep.
forgot, Jackie. Wow. So the whole premise of this episode was loosely, I finally got to play video games with my wife, but
it's a false
actually a
premise.
falsehood because we
Yeah.
have played 2 other video games in kind of a 4-month bracket. So that's
Definitely since the last time I've been on the show.
definitely
So,
since
I
then.
think it counts still.
You like Overcooked. We would often talk about how that helped us with our communication. You still find that true?
Yeah, I don't know if it helped us as much as it just was
Hurt us?
glare.
Okay,
It was a glaring display of how we communicate. It was
Mm.
so sad because I feel like okay, we would be thrust into this new challenge, right? Like make, hamburgers or whatever
on like an iceberg
on like an iceberg,
where I'm
and
slip sliding all around.
And there's dang penguins everywhere.
there's
And who's even eating these burgers?
exactly very similar to what we go through in real life in our
Mhm.
married life.
Mhm.
And you would be like running around doing the most, like kind of like
Blue team,
telling me
go.
what to do, like, okay, you go on this, you go on that, I'll be on this, like trying to take control, like
Mm,
in a good way, like
big
trying
Leo
to like
energy over
big
here.
Leo energy.
Big Leo
And then
energy.
you would see like
DiCaprio?
Jeremy's little yes. And then Jeremy's little like avatar guy is like running
Big
around.
blood diamond energy over here. I'm doing
And
blood
then
diamond
me in the corner is like chopping tomatoes
stuff.
specifically,
Yeah.
like the entire time.
Dissociating, completely dissociating.
Yeah. So
Yeah. We've gotten pretty dang far in Overcooked too, and I'm making us get the 3-star rank in every.
You got to get the 3 stars.
You gotta get
Otherwise,
3
what's
stars.
the point?
Exactly.
Totally, you can cruise through it if you're getting 1s and 2s.
Oh yeah, if you
You
don't
know.
give a shit, everything's easy.
That's true.
It's true.
Okay. Well, what have I been playing, you ask? I guess I've been playing Elden Ring DLC. Wake
how's that
up.
going?
Everyone wake up. Okay. I thought everyone was going to fall asleep. Elden Ring DLC has been going very, very well. An interesting thing happened, and I'd be curious if listeners out there have experienced anything similar to this. So hit me up if you have. Took me 20 hours of playing the DLC to finish 4 out of the 10 legacy bosses. Okay? So there's 10 legacy bosses. This is a math
All right, hold
problem.
on.
Okay. Get your pen and paper out.
I got to
If
take
there's
some notes.
10,
Okay, 10 legacy
10
bosses.
legacy bosses.
Okay.
4 of them
4 of them.
I beat in 20 hours.
Okay. So like a
5 hours per boss.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I beat the next 4 in 1 hour.
Wow. So a quarter time of your
So
previous
something
batch.
happened where I clearly
1/16th of the time.
Right.
I clearly hit a slipstream or something where I was like,
That's the term. You hit a slipstream.
I think the term is I hit a slipstream,
Mm-hmm.
a slippy stream if we're on Star Fox
Right.
Mhm.
time.
Do a barrel roll.
Yeah. And I slippy streamed and I somehow just started cranking through it to the point where I'm now sort of like at the end and I'm about to go do the end stuff and I'm like thrilled to do it. So
Now,
the DLC took as long as everyone had said, but it was just stacked early the amount of like
Right.
frustration and exploring and stuff I was going to be doing.
They front loaded it.
They front loaded it with all of the, oh my gosh, I'm just getting wrecked constantly. And then
Yeah.
Well, and did you have to did you do any kind of like warm up to get ready for the DLC, or did you just like jump in cold when it launched and you were like, here I go, I haven't played the game in like 2 years, but
Yes.
let's go again. Yeah.
ice cold, banged my head against the first random guy, just like random guy in a field who's just, he's farming. He's not even a warrior type guy. And I'm just like getting absolutely wrecked by him every time I cross paths. Yeah, it's freaking incredible. Also kind of like a life update, but Jackie and I moved into a new house. And
Congratulations.
thank you,
Thank you.
Patrick. And we got a new TV for the living room because the TV that
Hell
I had
yeah.
had was 10 years old. So now
How many inches we talking here?
On the new?
Yeah.
It
No,
is.
why would I want to hear about the old TV?
Yeah.
Well, the old one's like
No.
a 25-inch standard definition. No, it's a 65.
Hell yeah.
Is that
Okay.
good? What do you think? 65?
I'm excited about it.
65 to us is enormous. It might as well be.
It looks obscene
It
in
looks
our
obscene,
living room.
yeah.
It looks so
Good.
big.
It's also on a small stand, so it looks like big guy in a little coat, kind of situation.
I love that.
Yeah. And
Here's the thing.
yeah.
Sarah and I are also, my girlfriend and I are also like talking about moving at some point here. And we keep like seeing houses and being like, where the fuck would the TV go in here? This house sucks.
Mhm. We had that experience multiple times while we were looking.
It's you spend too much time in front of it for it not to be in like a good place.
Yeah, exactly. And like we had to turn down many a nice old craftsman style with character because there's just a dumb, ugly fireplace from the 1930s.
That doesn't
Boo.
work. might we add?
Yeah.
And then
we're
what?
like,
You're gonna mount the TV above the fireplace? That's too high.
Yeah, that's way too high. There's
I
a
hate
whole.
that.
Our friend Jake turned us on to the Reddit subreddit that is just TV's too high. Have you seen it? It's a pretty good subreddit.
Sounds great.
Yeah, so it's singing on this OLED. I'll tell you that. We got a nice OLED with some, and I in my old TV was really nice. It was a 4K, but it didn't have HDR capabilities. Now this one does have like HDR stuff. So I'm finally going through a lot of my
The blacks are blacker.
They're just so black,
so
and
black.
the technology behind this apparently why they're so black. They just shut those off. When it's black on screen, they
that
shut
true?
the pixels
They
off.
shut
Yeah.
it
that's what
Yeah.
that's what the guy at Best Buy said. I still
I
don't
don't
know
think
if
that's
that's
right.
true.
I don't
I
think that's
love
right. I'm
him.
with
I
Jackie.
love the guy at Best
No.
Buy, and he told
Fuck
us
the
the
guy at
truth.
Best Buy.
No,
This is
Yeah,
wrong.
I don't. Well, because we asked him what's the difference between an OLED and a QLED or QLED or whatever, and
and he
was
said
like,
that one doesn't exist.
just-
So we're like, but it's on all of these signs, and he goes, "Oh,
he just explained what an OLED was again. Like there, but I really don't think he was. I don't think that's correct. But
I
we'll
think
lot
that
of- yeah.
I think the QLED run on adrenochrome that is harvested in the back of Comet Ping Pong
yeah,
by
yeah,
the Democrats.
yeah."
Yes, that makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense. The other thing I've been playing is for our Patreon, baby.
Patreon.
Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight is a fantastic Metroidvania video game that came out for the Nintendo Switch in 2017. It is a classic. I'm loving it. We're going through that on the Patreon right now. We'll talk about that later in the plugs. But Patrick, you ever played this game, Hollow Knight?
I have the only bit of Hollow Knight that I have played was the little bit that I played at E3 2019 when I played the Silk Song because it was on the show floor.
The hell?
Yes.
Wait
At
a
the
minute.
Nintendo
Hold on.
booth. Yeah.
Whoa, too loud. Way too loud.
Too loud. Too loud.
Okay. Yeah, way too loud.
It was the last E3 ever. Just the last one. It'll never be back. And I played a little bit of Silk Song, a game that will probably never come out.
That's because they left it at E3.
They left it there. And then they were like, it's okay, we'll get it the next time there's an E3.
Jackie,
Never was one.
This game Silk Song has been talked about and rumored for such a long time.
Yeah.
And it still is not out yet. And people are at a fever pitch waiting.
I thought you were gonna
Every-
say, Jackie, you would have loved E3.
Jackie, you would have loved E3.
You would have loved it.
Too bad you never got to go.
Too bad it's dead now.
Oh, it's
Is that
gone.
true? I guess I didn't realize that they never picked it back up after the pandemic.
Yeah, they like attempted to bring it back, but it like didn't build up enough like steam or publicity, and like just by the time that people were ready to do in-person events again, all of the publishers had kind of moved off of it. Like interest had been waning for a while. Like I think 2017 or 2018 was the last time that PlayStation went, and so it just seemed like.
Wow.
Yeah, and PlayStation, used to have an enormous presence, a huge booth, and just
Yeah.
like rows and rows and rows of like game stations and stuff. And so with them gone, and then like the whole thing shutting down for a couple of years, when it came time to open it back up, everyone else was also like, yeah, we don't need this. We don't
Wow.
need to, because it was super expensive to get a booth and like staff it, and they'd fly people in from Japan and like all this kind of stuff. So
Yeah. Wow. I didn't clock that it had not been brought back. That's
Yeah,
really interesting.
the pandemic also like I think ushered in a completely new era of like this streaming model, which I think was maybe more fledgling before, but had rose to such a powerhouse in the pandemic of like, you know, for no money, a company can now just stream their new trailer,
right.
and they don't have to pay all the, and it'll have just as much of an impact, you know. So it's a bummer. We love a trade show. We love a good on the floor, boots on the ground thing, but and there are still things like that. But E3,
Sure, San Diego Comic-Con is happening right now.
that's right. Why aren't you there?
Because I had asked my editor if there was
Donatello.
my editor Donatello, the turtle, if there was any chance I could get a pass and like, you know, appear on like panels and stuff with them. And he was like, oh yeah, let me look into it. A couple weeks go by. I was like, hey man, just checking to see if same question again. And he was like, oh yeah, I that's right. Sorry, I forgot. I'll look into it. And then now we're here, and I never got a pass. So
Sheesh.
sheesh.
Well, to all you out there, you know, it's San Diego Comic-Con, running around, having a great time. You know, we salute you. We'll be holding down the fort here in LA.
Yeah. Keeping things, you know, ready,
Nice and tidy.
nice and tidy. Here's the real thing, because I could have bought like a pass or just like gone down to hang out for the weekend. I'm a little scared of running into Deadpool, because like he's gonna like make fun of me, or
Yeah.
you know, like
Yeah.
something's gonna happen, and I'm just
He's
gonna
gonna-
be like
yeah.
uncomfortable.
He's gonna
Yeah.
make you break the fourth wall. You're not used to doing that.
I can't
No.
do that.
It's a
Not at
nightmare.
con.
So
No.
it's Jackie's mom's birthday this weekend.
Yeah.
She's is like, we're gonna go out to lunch, then we're gonna go see a movie. Guess what movie she's dying to
Cool.
see?
Deadpool and Wolverine.
My mom never wants to go to the movies. Like my mom has never wanted to go see a movie, I don't think. And for some reason she's like, I gotta go see Deadpool.
Now, is she a fan of the Deadpool movies?
No, she has no idea who anybody is. She doesn't know the universe, anything. I truly don't know where this
Whoa.
is coming from.
This is awesome.
Yeah. I heard her once talking a lot about Josh Brolin's Cable,
Yeah, okay.
but that
from
was about
Deadpool
it.
too.
That was about it.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you say we get into the news? Is that way too loud as well? Okay. News. We got some new video game releases. Believe it or not, Kunitsu Gami Path of the Goddess came out. Who's thrilled? Who's freaking
Sounds good.
thrilled?
Sounds really good. I think.
Okay. Well, if that didn't wet your whistle, maybe
What's that one about?
Kunitsu Gami Path of the Goddess is about this. As a warrior, you must go through the path of the goddess.
Oh, yeah. Okay, no, I get it.
As a warrior, you must. The new Denpa Men. That's
Oh,
out.
yeah. That was featured at the last Nintendo Direct.
Yeah. You check this one out? I know
No.
you're a big. Okay. What about
Here's the thing, Jeremy.
Yeah.
If listeners of Nintendo Cartridge Society will know that I am
NCS.
honor bound to, thank you, NCS.
at gmail.com?
Honor bound to buy everything that Nintendo puts out this year. It is a promise that I made to the audience in January. And I wouldn't say I'm regretting it, but it does mean that I'm buying a lot of stuff. And so if there's something that I maybe would have taken a flyer on, like New Denpa Men, because it was featured in a Nintendo Direct, I'm kind of like, no, I had to buy Endless Ocean Luminous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I was going to ask if you bought that. Did you buy that?
Yeah.
Did you play it?
Yeah. Yes. I played it for a good 45 minutes.
And
And I saw a great white shark.
hey,
Pretty cool.
I love that you also chose this year to buy everything Nintendo would put out, because this is, probably the last year that the Switch is going to be around, and so they're not throwing heaters this year. It's like,
I got Luigi's Mansion 2, baby.
okay, I stand corrected. Tons of heaters.
The
Raw
thing is,
men.
It did make me pre-order the Switch Lite Hyrule edition.
You did?
Yeah, I have to.
Oh my god!
I'm very excited about this thing.
Is this what Switch is this for you? Which number? 3?
3, yeah.
Oh man, mine is the operating system on my Switch. It's like an old iPhone style, where it's just it barely will change screens and stuff. I'm like, I gotta get it into a new Switch. But number 2
is going to come out so soon.
Number 2, Ramen Food Fighter Arena came out. I think we all know what that's about from the title.
Raw Men?
Raw Men. One
I think
word.
I know what it's about.
Arranger, a role puzzling adventure, came out. It came out for PlayStation, Switch, and PC. That I don't know if that helps you guys.
Summer's a tough time to put out games, right? It's just like people want to go to the beach or like go to an outdoor screening of a movie. Hey, at the Gene Autry Museum tomorrow evening, they're showing Back to the Future Part 3 outside.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's cool.
Let's all go.
Are you going?
I think so.
What time?
I don't know, 8 maybe.
Oh, 8. Now that's a time I can get behind.
It's like nighttime,
For movie, yeah.
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 For volleyball?
No.
Nah.
Too late for volleyball.
Too late.
Yeah.
Well, if you're in a gym, you have the lights. A lot of people
that's
play
true.
nighttime volleyball at the gym.
That makes me uncomfortable, and I don't know why.
Hey, guys, I know it's midnight. Y'all want to jump in the Bronco and go play some late night volleyball? F1 Manager 2024 came out. Now, I understand this to be a game where you are not racing the F1 cars, but you're sort of managing a fleet of them.
It's kind of cool.
Okay, what else is in the news? SAG-AFTRA union, that's union to you, mister, declares strike against video game companies starting today, as of this recording.
Today.
Yeah, July 26th. The union is declared strike against the video game companies. Jackie, once upon a time, you were maybe going to unionize and strike against your former employers. How do you feel about this?
I was not going to do that. I asked my boss if we could get the vacation time that was being promised to us, and I got accused of being a union organizer. But
You should have gone on
as a
strike.
union organizer, I would say I think it's good.
I think it's
it's good.
I
Okay,
think it's
great.
potentially great because it's just the Wild West out there in terms of how people are getting paid, I think.
Yes.
Now, this is for writers, video game writers, or
No,
performers, or
it's SAG.
Not
So
performers.
it is the performers. It is like
the actors.
voice
Okay.
actors and stuff, and the mocap people anyone who's paid under the SAG union is
the
basically
Motown people.
yeah.
Yeah, Motown's part of it.
What part of mocap? Did you hear Motown? That's not even the same. Okay.
The first sound is the same.
Yeah.
Say them both back to back.
Same syllable.
Mocap, Motown.
See, you just did it.
That's
Mm-hmm.
true. That's true. And there is a funny addendum to this strike
Great.
that a lot of publications are reporting. This will not affect GTA 6.
Well, so a lot of it's not all video games, right, that are being struck. It is just a handful of companies. Yeah.
Yes, it is. Let's see. Yeah, we have Activision Productions Inc., Blind Light LLC, Disney Character Voices Incorporated, Electronic Arts Productions Incorporated, Epic Games, Formosa Interactive LLC. I do believe Formosa Interactive LLC is the restaurant Formosa in Hollywood is going on strike.
The one in like by the Target.
Yeah, the one by the Target. Yeah.
The Formosa Cafe.
The Formosa Cafe. Take Two Productions, VoiceWorks Productions, and of course, everyone's favorite, WB Games.
Ooh, WB Games.
That's a lot of biggins, I would say.
Yeah.
It's a lot of biggins, but obviously not going to affect GTA 6.
Not Rockstar. I wonder why it is just those companies. Any idea?
Is there anything specific that they're
like for example, like you don't see like Nintendo.
Yeah, but is there anything specific in the terms of the strike? Like I wonder if those companies have their contracts that, reflect some kind of term that they're striking against specifically. I have no idea.
Well, okay, this is the way this is from probably not the best site, but this is animenewsnetwork.com.
.org?
No,
.biz. .gov.
.fart is this is the sentence they wrote in their article, which sort of leads me to believe something, is SAG-AFTRA has been negotiated for more than a year and a half with a bargaining group that includes.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm gleaning from this is that they collectively have formed a bargaining group, and I'm guessing, it's for SAG, so it's here in the United States, maybe like other Japanese
that's
companies,
a lot of American companies,
aren't bargaining. Yeah.
Well, I also wonder how many like Japanese productions are SAG productions, right? Like, it wouldn't be that like everyone who does a voice for any video game has to be part of SAG. So, it may just have to do with like who's even receptive to having any sort of conversation with the actors union.
Right. Apparently the negotiations began in October of 2022. Wow. The glacial pace in which these things move.
It's also like it's a damn shame because like October 22, right, is kind of as video games are like riding their like obscene high, right, where like games have never been in higher demand and like they're selling enormous numbers of copies of like everything. Everything's a hit, and like there's been a lot of constriction in the video game industry in the last 2 years, in the last like year and a half in particular, with like studios closing and stuff like that. It sucks that it takes so long to ask for, probably residuals and fair pay and all that kind of stuff, that like it seems like they're probably in an even worse position to actually like give them those things.
Yeah, it's all over the place too, because one, of course, big term you'll see a lot come up in these articles is AI. That is one of the big things, and is especially prescient, I think, with video games. I'm seeing here a sentence that says SAG-AFTRA signed an agreement in January with Replica Studios, an AI voiceover studio that sets terms for the use of artificial intelligence for voices in video games. That seems positive. But nonetheless, they are striking against video games.
Can we go around the table and say our favorite AI?
Sure. You start.
Okay, I'll go first. My favorite AI has got to be Haley Joel Osment.
Don't say it, dang it! Oh God. Okay, mine's Hal. Hal, 2001: Space Odyssey. Hal.
Mine is Wall-E.
Perfect.
Whoa! Famously, a movie Jackie will not watch with me, even though I do have the 4K.
It looks too sad
on a beautiful OLED TV, mind you. Are you serious?
It looks too sad. If he's left alone on the planet, like that really bums me out.
It's sad at first.
No, it's not sad at first. He's like fulfilled on Earth by himself.
What?
Oh, so it's sad because he gets a friend? Oh, that's a twist that I did not see.
It's sad because he learns love exists, and then he has to struggle for it.
Patrick, you are ruining my chances. You are ruining my chances of getting a screening of WALL-E going tonight after this recording.
Why would I see it when I've lived it, you know?
Yeah, it's a great point. Can I tell you the saddest thing that happened during a screening of WALL-E that I was at?
Yes, please,
so
anything.
There's a point in the movie where it's nearing the end and WALL-E is in mortal peril. And he like barely breaks free of this, and he's acting different. And you hear like a quiet little voice in like the third or fourth row of the theater just go, "What's wrong with WALL-E?"
No, that is
It was
so
the best.
sad.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. Little
Very
kids announcing things in theaters is so.
It's
It's
awesome.
very
best.
funny.
It's
It's
the
very
best.
funny. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. PSVR 2 has gotten a huge price cut in England.
Oh,
But this is right ahead of the Steam app incorporating PSVR 2, which is kind of interesting. So, Jackie, because I'm interested to know, what do you think a PSVR 2 costs?
this is a great question, and for
Man.
reference, the PlayStation 5, the machine that you also need to make it work, is $500.
Yeah, so the PlayStation 5 itself is $500. How much do you think the PSVR 2, a peripheral to the PS5, costs?
$800.
Okay,
Wow, classic, like just absolutely.
we set it up too much.
Yeah, we set it up way too much.
I was gonna guess that in general. Just so everyone
$800.
knows.
No, it
$800.
is over $500. I believe it was, but I don't think you would find it for that price even in the States. I think you could find it for about $500 if you just
What was
looked.
the thing that we had to buy to play Just Dance back in the day? What was it called?
The pad, like the big pad? Was there a
No, that's DDR. Just
Oh.
Dance was like a thing on PlayStation. It was
Were
like
you using Move Wands?
mm,
They're like glowy little ice cream cones.
no, it was
it a camera?
it was like a thing that went with your PlayStation to
It could have been the PlayStation Eye, right?
Yeah,
That
it
was
could have been like the camera. Yeah.
well, we'll never know because we can't
Yeah,
look it
we'll
up.
never know.
We
But
refuse.
anyways, the price
Yeah,
cut
$550 is what it was listed
retail
at.
MSRP.
And I know it went on sale like over the holidays this year to $400, like a huge $150 price cut for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Because I was tempted during that period to pick one up, but did not do it.
Yes, it is the UK price $329 is what it was reduced to, just ahead of it receiving a Steam app update, which, just so for reference, that just means you can now use it with your PC. Like, it's not just deadlocked to your PlayStation. Like, you can actually use it as a $329. As someone who's never owned VR, but obviously I would love to, I'm still thinking that's too much money. I'm still thinking like, oh my gosh, that's my Switch 2 budget
Yeah.
right there. What Patrick, you picking
Yeah.
this up for a cool $300? You got
Is
the
it-
Portal.
Is it? I do have
You
the
might
Portal,
as
and
well.
I like the Portal. No. So okay, the problem for me with VR is that I can't just sit down and play it. I've got to like change the configuration of the living room. I got to move the end tables out of the way. I got to scooch the couch back a little bit.
Gotta call.
I gotta
Call your work. Let them know.
I got to call my work. I'm the boss there, but I still have to call anyway.
Yep. Yeah. I'll
let
be
'em know that
indisposed for a while. I'm jacking in, is what you say.
I have to tell them that I'm jacking in and that I have a fever, so I can't come in. And then I have to send them a picture of the thermometer, and it's like 103. No, it's just a hassle, right? Like, I want to sit down and either hold a thing in my hand or play a game on the TV, and like any extra steps, like honest to God, just putting something on my face, it's too many steps.
Do you wear contacts ever?
No.
Okay, nor do I. And I've also found VR to be kind of cumbersome with glasses as a glasses wearer.
Yeah. I found the original PSVR to fit on my head over my glasses. And
Interesting.
So that was fun. But even like, and I liked that machine, but I played Moss, I played Astrobot Rescue Mission, and I played that Star Wars Squadrons.
I want to play them all.
Squadrons in VR fucking rules, because you can play the game not in VR, but it's all like aerial based combat, so you're in spaceships, right? And everyone else is just sort of like in the cockpit and they can just like see what's going on. But if you're in VR, you can like look up and see the stars, you can look behind you and see an astromech droid behind you. It fucking rules,
man. You know what else looked good? And I'm not even a huge Marvel guy these days, but there's like an Iron Man VR game that was
yeah
out.
I wanted to play that, did not.
Oh.
Here's just so long as it's not like a Deadpool game, though.
Too
It's like
scary.
in VR,
I'm too
he's
afraid I'm
gonna
going to get
find
made.
me.
He's going to find me. He's going to make fun of me. He's
And
going to
how do
somehow
you
break
break
the fourth wall of my
In
PS5.
VR? I
Yeah.
don't think so. I don't like that.
No way.
What's the one that Olivia and Michael have, or Jolene,
They have
I
the
guess.
they're big Quest people. They got the Quest 3 for
Meta.
Christmas last year, the Meta Quest 3, yeah. Which is great. I played a bunch over Christmas of whatever new big RPG game had come out for the Quest 3.
Right. It's like Valhalla or
like a
something
Norse
like that.
thing.
Yep.
And it's like as soon as you jack in and you start playing it, you're like, oh, I get how this rocks. I get exactly how this is going to be awesome. Like I pick things up like this and I can throw them across the room and I can do all this cool stuff. One day it'll be reasonable.
There was a comic miniseries from it would have been almost a decade ago at this point, called Tokyo Ghost. And there was a panel. It was like a dystopian future where like people were super reliant on technology. And then there is this, like samurai guy who like was totally detached from, never jacked in. You know what I mean? And there was one panel of an obese woman wearing a VR headset and having like a sex thing like plugged in that just never leaves my mind. And anytime I think about VR, I'm like, is that where we're headed? Am I going to have to become a Tokyo ghost?
Have you? Okay, that's interesting you bring that up, because a similar image that never leaves my mind is in the music video for Pearl Jam's Do the Evolution. Have you seen this, Patrick?
I don't think so.
As a comic book fan, I think you would at least find it interesting. It's the entire thing is done by Todd McFarlane, all the animation.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Of course, right? 90s, like just perfect
It's a
synergy
perfect fit,
there.
yep.
Yeah. And there is a few frames of an obese man jacked into a VR thing with similar getup contraption of just like something on his crotch and something on his eyes.
Yeah. And it's John Leguizamo's character from Spawn.
Yep, it's
that right?
Clown.
Clown. What's he's got to have a name, right? Like
I think it's
Violator?
Clown.
I think it's Violator.
He turns into the Violator, but I think his name is. I think his other alter ego is Clown, right? Is it just called Clown?
I don't know. I can't talk about Spawn.
Very interesting you bring up clowns, though, as the last piece of news, and perhaps the most important is a headline I read today, and I want to read for you now. Joker doesn't become the clown prince of crime in Joker 2, director says.
Wow.
Huh.
I'll read it again just so it washes over you one more time.
Yeah, start it over.
Joker doesn't become the clown prince of crime in Joker 2, director says.
Okay.
And this is Joker 2, like the number, not Joker TOO.
Yes,
or
it's
TO.
Joker, the number
great.
2. So, Patrick, let's do a little role play here.
Yeah.
You be the director,
Okay.
and keep in mind...
Yeah, you interview me. I'm like
interviewing
a press
you.
junket.
You're
Yeah.
the director, okay?
Right. And this is like my fourth one of these today. We're in like the lobby of like a Radisson. Okay, great.
And I work for E.
Okay, great.
And who am I?
Oh, God, this is so good. Actually, Jackie, can you work for E and I'll be behind the camera?
Yes, I'll work for you. Okay.
Okay, so Jackie, you ask Patrick Does anything not happen in Joker 2?
Okay. Does anything, director of Joker 2, does anything not happen in Joker 2?
I would say a couple things that don't happen in Joker 2. One of which is Joker does not become the clown prince of crime in Joker 2.
And then I'm behind the camera and my sunglasses just go down to my nose.
And your hat spins around.
Yeah, whoa! And with that,
But what does that mean? Is it he just
what can it mean?
Did he wait? Okay. So does that mean that he was the clown prince of crime in Joker 1?
No.
And he will not be doing that this time?
Absolutely not. No way. How could you think that? There's no way he is that in 1 because he doesn't become that in 2.
Oh, does he mean he already is that? He
No.
doesn't have to become it because he is
No,
it.
That's a great point.
He does. I don't think if I'm interpreting what director says
right?
from the
Do
sentence.
we need to hear it again? I'll say it again.
So Joker doesn't become
Joker
the
does
clown.
not become the clown prince.
Joker does
crime.
not become the clown prince of crime in Joker 2,
Joker 2,
comma, director says.
Right.
If I'm interpreting what director says,
Mhm.
it is that he wasn't that in Joker 1 and he won't be that in Joker 2. Now Joker 3, we don't know.
We don't know. It's so what is it? What does it take for one to become the clown prince of crime?
See, and that's something that I wouldn't even begin to know how to, because I'm not that twisted.
Because it's a play on words to begin with, and then something that doesn't make sense on top of that, like crowned prince, right? That's the
Right.
basis of the pun, and then like prince of crime. Is that a saying?
Oh, like Prince of
Thieves.
Prince of Thieves. Okay, so if he could become the clown prince of thieves,
interesting.
I like that.
Who
I do
is
like
the clown prince of crime? If it's not the Joker, is it?
Oh, like is he replacing somebody? I think it's one of those
Is it Krusty
situations
the
where
Clown?
I think it's a situation where he's showing up to his new office and he's like, I'm gonna invent my own role here. You know what I mean? Like he's
The director or the Joker?
the Joker. The
Oh, okay.
Joker's like, there currently in Gotham City, there is no clown prince of crime,
Right.
but I will make that a job.
Sure. And so
For
that's why he
myself.
starts dressing that way, because he's dressing for the job he wants.
Yeah, not the job he has, which is guy who holds signs.
The Riddler isn't a clown, right? We all
That's
agree on.
correct. That's correct. Yes.
I'm just
The
out of curiosity.
Riddler, the Riddler, by the way, is not a clown.
Riddle me this! Riddle me that.
Okay, with that, I gotta plug the Patreon. Folks, patreon.com/Super NPC Radio is a website you can go to and get a lot of bonus content from the makers of this show, Call Me By Your Game, Reactivators, and more. Currently, we are covering Hollow Knight on our Games Club week to week. We're combing through that game, getting our asses kicked by a bunch of bugs. It's a good time. Please join us over there if you can afford it. If not, hey, you know what? We actually have a public feed for our old games clubs. So, I mean, that's how generous we are, right? As content creators, we're giving away old stuff for free. That's over at Super NPC Radio. That's a podcast you can find anywhere. That's just where podcasts can be found.
Do you know
But yeah.
I'm listening to that Games Club right now, the old one as it's being released, the Super Mario 64 one.
Dude! Oh, yes, Super Mario 64 at Games Club. It was our season 1 of the new format when we changed it from doing every game in a series, which was murder, and chose one game to do over a long period of time, which was better, and gave us an excuse to actually really talk a lot more about, one specific game. Man,
Yeah.
I gotta say, it's
Great
hard for me to
series so
it's
far,
hard for
yeah.
me to pick a favorite, but Super Mario 64, I mean, we would get hung up on like the tile sets in a room and stuff. Like it was a great time going through that game. So
Yeah.
I'm glad you're
And
listening.
Can I make a specific recommendation for people who, if they haven't checked it out yet? is to listen to the beginning of episode 3, where Nick Costanza has to host the show, and it is a train wreck like nothing I've ever heard before. It falls apart immediately and completely.
Yes, getting Nick to host an episode is like a very perverted pleasure of ours, where we're like, yes, please host this one as we watch it go down in flames. No kidding,
It's
Nick,
so
we love you.
bad he tosses it to July. That's how bad it is.
July, you host now. Now you're the clown prince of hosting. Okay, patreon.com/Super NPC Radio. Let's get into the main event. Holy cannoli, I might say. As I'm first turning on Nintendo World Championships NES edition, I want to start by saying never played NES Remix, never checked those out on the 3DS.
Dude,
I'm a novice to this kind of a game. And I picked it up sort of on a whim, not really knowing what I was getting into. Boy, oh boy. What an absolute treat!
it's a hoot.
It is an absolute hoot. Jackie, my loving wife, is a huge Super Mario Brothers 3 fan. Specifically. Like, Jackie, there would be times when I would have that game on and I would leave you on World, 1, and I would come back an hour later, you'd be on, World 6. You were just flying through it.
Cool.
Yeah, that is my very specific and only kind of video game preference. And
Yeah.
also, I will never play. I mean, it works for me because you always want to play things with me. And I feel like that game, we can't play with each other. So
Mario 3?
yeah, I mean, we could, but
Can.
I know, but I don't want to.
Yeah, it is a thing where as soon as Jackie gets the NES controller for Mario 3, it's like she's got it. I have to go fuck off and do something else.
But there are so many different ways to approach Super Mario Brothers 3, and if you are ever trying to play it with someone else and they warp somewhere weird or skip a level and it's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, it's just
Play
not
it
the
my way.
business. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's just not. It's really not the business to
It's
share.
personal. It's personal, I think.
It really is. Yeah.
So, Jackie, I'd love to start with you on Nintendo World Championships NES edition. What did you think about this when we first turned it on? I mean, I know that it wasn't much of a convincing because I was like, oh, this is an NES thing. We're gonna be doing little challenges. But what was your thoughts turning it on for the first time?
I don't think I had no expectations. I knew that you wanted me to play this and you were really excited about it. And I had no idea what it was. Because I don't think we talked about it at all before. So when you turned it on and I saw that it was mini games, it was immediately way more attractive to me than a lot of other games that I think we've tried to play together, because it just felt, I was like, oh, this is cool. I don't think I've seen anything like this before.
Yeah. What do you think it is about mini games like that specifically are attractive to you?
I think for me personally, I don't know if I hear this from a lot of my friends too. I'm just in an era where my attention span is very short. So
Sure.
I can't even watch a movie all the way through without getting on my phone and scrolling through TikTok or doing something else, multitasking. So those very concentrated bursts of focus that I need to dedicate are really manageable for me. So I was really excited. And as a wife of somebody who really, when we decide we're going to watch a movie, it's not a quick 90-minute, rom-com. It is a 3-hour. What did you make us watch on Christmas?
Where's this? Fanny and Alexander, the
This all
perfect
feels
Christmas
real.
movie.
This feels real and right and true.
The perfect Christmas movie. Ingmar Bergman's Fanny and Alexander.
Yeah, Jerry's let's watch a Christmas movie. And it was 7 years long.
Ah, Sweden in 1901. Here we go.
So yeah, I was very excited that it wasn't going to be like, okay, I'm parking in front of the TV for many hours with no chance of bathroom breaks or food breaks.
You don't let her take bathroom breaks?
None of this is true. Come on, listener. Who are you going to side with? Patrick.
Yeah.
Nintendo aficionado. Nintendo sexpert. How do you feel? What did you I'm assuming you bought it.
Yes, I did.
I'm assuming you put it in your Switch, probably.
I bought that special edition.
Oh, we can barely see it.
There's the gold cart right there.
The gold cart.
And
doesn't work.
I've had it doesn't work. It doesn't work as a
in.
cart, but it works as a thing that looks awesome. And of course, I've had these NES controllers for the Switch since the day they were available. No, I'm a big NES head. Anytime they put these things out, either like vanilla or remixed in any way, I love the NES remix games. I had both of them on Wii U. Never played the collection on 3DS, but I was super excited for this to come out. Of course, I am honor bound to buy everything that Nintendo puts out this year, so it was going to happen no matter what. But yeah, I put it in. I played it. I played as many challenges as I could, like, kind of stay focused for. I mean, it feels like a game I've got to revisit sort of regularly every week for a while, because, like, I don't know, I play it for maybe like 2 hours, and then I'm like, okay, I don't think I can experience these like 3 second long challenges anymore. Like, it can be too much if you're doing a ton of it back to back to back.
Yeah. Are you playing it by yourself, or are you playing it with Sarah?
So far, I am playing it by myself, which
interesting.
Because Sarah also likes NES games. She loves Super Mario Brothers 3, and she loves the original Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers 2, and Excite Bike. I would say those 4 games are like her games. But there's like a dang Zelda in there. There's 2 dang Zeldas in there. There's an ice climber. There's a balloon fight. Some of these things are just are perplexing to her, I think. Someday I'm going to trick her into playing a little bit of it, and we'll play together. But no, I've only played single player at this point.
I was really concerned. I wasn't concerned until it started happening. Like when Jackie, when you first came across your first Zelda, like top-down Zelda challenge.
Yeah.
What was that like for you?
Yeah. Yeah. I am not a big Zelda gal for this reason specifically. It's like the top down of it all.
They call that.
I'm not a Gelda.
They call it Galda.
A Galda, yeah. But because of the top down of it all, it's very, I kept running into like toward the TV, like trying to get to myself in real life instead of like going with the
Wait, what?
I kept like running down.
You ran into the TV?
I kept my little avatar kept running like down and toward me on the screen instead of running like, I guess it's I still have no idea what the orientation is.
The top down isometric, like, or not isometric, but top down, just proved to be a challenging brain puzzle. It seemed like at the time. Right. Is that a good way to describe it, Jack? Like it was just sort of like puzzling. Like, wait a minute, which way am I? Which way are they?
Yeah, and then you add the little knife.
I describe it like Pac-Man,
and it was too much.
Yeah. Did me describing it as Pac-Man help you?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. It was just really different from like the Mario side scroller world that I used to.
It's twice as many directions as you have to move.
Yeah, it's too many directions.
Yeah.
But
as soon as that happened, though, it made me like go like, oh, I take for granted that I just know how Samus moves in Metroid. Yeah. Like, I just know, like, and I know the weird tricks with the ice climbers where, like, the jumping just sucks. So you have to, like, way overcompensate for it. Like,
that's the trick, is that the jump sucks.
Yeah. The trick with the game, the fun of the game is that the jump sucks.
Is bad. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So it was like that I got suddenly very worried about, especially like Balloon Fight, which has got a weird mechanic where you have to like tappa.
I like Balloon Fight. I was inexplicably great at Balloon Fight. I kept winning every single one, and I was just like, I could not tell you what I did.
S ranks. Jackie was getting S ranks on Balloon Fight challenges, which was
interesting.
Which was good. Here is
Jackie, can I ask a question about Zelda, and like the top down perspective? Do you are you in any way like putting yourself in the head of the character and thinking like, I want to move the way he's facing? And then like push a button to move the way he's facing? I think
so. Yeah. I think that's what's happening.
She wants Zelda tank controls.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what's happening because I was just like, I would just get stuck in these spaces and not be able to get out. And I'm also not good with like first person shooter games either. So, but because the challenges were so short, I felt like it was a good entryway into starting to learn how to play a Zelda game or insert any other game. Even I didn't play a lot of Donkey Kong growing up.
Because Donkey Kong is in there too. Yeah,
Donkey Kong's in there too. So that was really fun because Donkey Kong for me, I played it. There was a pizza place that we went to every week with my parents, and there was an arcade, like a whatever it's called. What is it called? Like the cabinet.
Yeah.
And I would play it and I would die like within the first, 15 seconds every single time. So there were a couple challenges where you have to get to the top and you have to do something after that. And I was just like, I know the mechanics of Donkey Kong, but I don't know what happens in the story after, after you get to this, like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, the monkey runs away and you got to chase him again. I think it's mostly what happens in the story.
Yeah.
But that Donkey Kong is such a good, or the way that Nintendo World Championships NES Edition presents Donkey Kong is like, it's perfect because it shows you every individual challenge and in a level, and then says, now do the level. And then it shows you the second level the same way, third level the same way. And then the final challenge is do all three of those levels back to back to back. And that's the entire game. So it effectively teaches you how to play all of the game. And I don't think any of the rest of the NES games represented here teach you how to play the entire thing.
Oh, definitely not in the case of like Metroid, like where it's just like, it's like jump and get to the door. And like there was things happening where I was like, oh, I just took for granted, like I know how to, I know about shooting the doors open. So like Jackie would like get there and then be like, why can't I go through? I'm like, oh, you got to shoot it. I'm sorry. Like, like there's just like a lot to explain in some of these. Yeah.
Well, and it's weird that like a lot of times there'll be like some sort of prompt on the screen, like press the B button to shoot.
Right.
But sometimes it won't. And so you just got to be like, ugh.
We had an absolute blast and playing the game together, where basically you race, like that's the way that the two player and they package all these different challenges for you. So it's like a group of challenges you'll do back to back, which is like it's just like an incredibly fun little package. I'm thinking, Patrick.
Yes. And I agree with you.
We've got to do.
Yes.
Yeah, we got to get everybody together.
We got to descend on Connor's house.
Yes. Yeah.
And get some 8-player party mode going.
An 8-player party mode. I mean, I own 2 NES controllers. You own 2. That's 4 already. So we just need 2 more sets and 4 more people who want to do it. But I can't imagine what 8 screens up there looks like. Like that sounds like it would be a freaking
You can't imagine
blast.
that? Have you done the survival mode at all?
No, I haven't.
So in survival mode, it serves up 3 separate challenges. It tells you what the challenges are going to be in advance, but then it shuffles them. And the way it works is you're playing against 7 other ghost players. Yeah, but it's not as scary as it sounds.
Okay.
Luigi's there to suck him
you.
up in the poltergust.
Yeah.
So in the first round, it's only the top 4 players that go on to the next round, and in the second round, it's only the top 2 players that go on, and then the final round is just whoever between the 2 of you remaining wins. So it's a cool like elimination thing, but it starts with a grid of 8 screens on the screen, and you're just playing in a tiny little box. It's very cool.
Wow. Yeah, that rocks. Yeah. Well, I gotta say, Patrick, if you haven't yet tried it out, the playing side by side with somebody couch style,
Gotta do it.
The best.
It was really fun. Yeah.
Really good time, and again, like I really love the onboarding on some of it. Some of it is still like Excite Bike is still a tough one because. Yeah. Again, like with some of these, a little more explanation might help, or if there was some other kind of tutorialization or something of that game. But like for the most part, though, it's like being able to like rewind too, and like watching like one exciting thing, Jack. I don't know if you remember this, but like specifically in Donkey Kong's second stage, where it's like. It's like almost like a pyramid shape, and you're having to like run across the platforms that disappear, and you're climbing up, and you're making them all disappear so that the whole stage falls. Watching you get to the end of that, and it took a couple of rewinds, but watching it to the end was like so satisfying. I was like, like you just beat the second level of Donkey Kong. That's such a hard level to beat, and a lot of people never see the end of it.
It's the third level. That's the third level.
Oh,
that's
you're
the third
right.
level.
The second one is the one with the
little conveyor belt things that go up the little elevators. Yeah.
But you get what I'm saying, right? It's like it's like watching somebody beat that. Who, I mean, in the arcade, I wouldn't have a chance at it. You probably wouldn't either. Like the idea, like of beating it, like in the arcade, it's like really, really tough. But doing it there, I was like, wow, that's cool. And you got to see you got the satisfaction of like beating it. That's like that's like a really cool aspect, I think, of it.
Yeah, I mean, I could do it in the arcade.
Or beating the first boss in Zelda, like the dragon.
Yeah.
Like that's like really cool to like see what that looks like and see what that is. Good stuff. So here's a question.
Okay.
Go, please.
I have a question. Yeah. So at one point I said, this would be a cool way to introduce a kid to all of these games.
Yeah.
And I think, Jeremy, you were kind of like, that's interesting. I don't know if I agree with that necessarily. Because I was like, these are really short, bite-sized ways to introduce them to the mechanisms of all of these different games without having to commit to the whole thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know, do you feel like you agree with that? Or do you feel like you think it would be better to learn the game through playing the actual game?
Patrick, I want you to answer, and then I have a revised answer. So I want to hear what you think first.
Well, so one of the sort of like earlier version of this game, the NES remix games, does something very similar where it just like takes the little bite-size portions of gameplay and presents them, free of context. And what I liked about that and what I like about this is that it shows you the parts of the game that are later on and behind the sort of earlier challenges, right? So in the Super Mario Brothers 3, you can have the individual boss fights with each of the Koopa kids, right? And see what it's like to experience these things. In Kid Icarus, on NES Remix anyway, one of the challenges is like fighting the final boss, something that like as a kid, I never got anywhere near that final boss. And just knowing that there's something like that out there in the game could serve as good motivation to figure out how to play the game moment to moment. So I do think that there is a lot of value towards like not only teaching you how to play, but also teaching you that there are things worth playing later in the game.
Yeah.
I think that when you asked me that, in my high brain, I was like, well, this is a game about racing to the finish of these. So I wouldn't want to give this to a kid because they wouldn't know what to do, like in like the grand majority of these challenges.
If like you or I was playing them, like versus them.
Right. Or like if they even had to play against a clock or something, that, it doesn't really give you a ton of instruction. And that doesn't really matter for Mario. as much as it does for something like an Excite bike. Like I could just see a kid being like, I'm never touching this again. Like I do not understand Excite bike.
Right, but then they got 12 other games in there to play, you know?
Yeah, and it's only like 10 seconds, and they'll be like, "Oh, I'm done. I suck at this one." But
true, but I was thinking that the way you beat the game is by doing it fast, so that the frustration of that. But I think so then my brain was going like, well, maybe you'd want to introduce them to every single one of these games first, and then let them go in and try to do the speedrun challenges. But I do want to revise that now as like that would never happen in a billion years. Like the kid's not going to like play through Balloon Fight just so he can go do the challenges. So I guess this would be good for a kid, or it would be interesting for a kid. I mean, I think you could also, you know, a kid left to it by themselves might bounce off it, but if you were there with them, you could go, okay, no, tap on the thing, get it over there.
Tappa.
Yeah. I had a question for you guys before we move on. This game, as I was doing some research, is the temperature check on this game is like 70s. It's not like people are out there like ringing the church bell. Quasimodo is not ringing the church bell. Sanctuary! About World Championships NES Edition. People have some gripes with it. I wanted to throw to you guys, what do you wish was different about this game? If you were going to design something or maybe add something, is there any answers you have? While you guys are thinking, I'll go first. I think I would probably enjoy some sort of remember, and this is for Patrick, remember in Mario Maker how in the first one how they would let you be like different sprites in Mario and stuff? I want more like that kind of fun and hijinks. I want Jeremy, like Link in Mario.
You want NES Remix.
If that's what NES Remix is, it might just be a better version of what this is.
Yeah. I mean, there are, you know, individual challenges from these games, and then there's also the remix challenges where you're playing as Samus in Kid Icarus, where you're playing as Pit in Super Mario Brothers 3. It's really pretty cool. Yeah, that's cool. I would like that, and I would also maybe tack on that. And again, like I haven't unlocked every challenge in the game yet. Like I'm still like working my way through it, but some of the earlier challenges, like I do think it's like kind of cute that the first one is like Mario just gets the mushroom and that's it. But I do think like making some of these longer and more interesting, or like sometimes I'm like not always feeling the creativity in every challenge, and they repeat themselves a lot. Yes, any of the challenges that is get the first power up, I think are bad. Like the Metroid one where it's like get the morph ball. Yeah, I hate that challenge because it's so short as to be like a negligible experience, and like you have your time down, right? Like you're gonna finish it in the time you finish it in, basically the same every time. And I feel the same way about like getting the first mushroom in Mario. I just want them to be like a little bit longer, like 12 seconds instead of 3.
Yeah, because you got like loading screens between each thing too, and it's like sometimes the like getting into just the challenge takes way like 4 times as long as the challenge itself.
Right. Although I gotta say the menus are pretty snappy. Like the game does like queue up the next challenge really quick, and like you can navigate through that menu really fast.
Yeah. So what do you think, Patrick? What would be a prescription? Dr. Patrick, paging Dr. Patrick.
Well, first of all, Dr. Mario should be part of this game.
Not
present, Dr. Mario. I think there's a good like dozen NES games that should be included on here that aren't. Where's Donkey Kong Jr.? Where's Donkey Kong 3?
Where's Sweet Home?
What is that?
What is that? Yeah.
But I guess I am also grateful that like Urban Champion and Clue Land aren't in here. So
Sure.
we dodged some bullets. But my big ask, I think, at this point would be leaderboards. I want to be able to see how my friends do on all these challenges.
Yeah. I want to see and I want to see at what time of night they completed them.
I want to know how late Hearn stayed up.
Exactly. I was thinking Hearn. Yeah. Okay, Jackie, what do you think? What would be something you would you wish was different about the game?
I'd say probably just some of the things everyone else has said, like a little longer challenge. I do like the first power up one though, because so for me, I think my time was getting better. Because I'm so rusty. Like I'm not someone who plays video games all the time, that it took me a couple of times where I was like, oh, okay, like this is actually what my time would be. It wouldn't be what I started with.
Right.
So I think that, for me, that I like those because it's a good, easy entryway back into some of this stuff, especially if you're playing it as like a party game, and a lot of folks are there with like a variety of levels of experience with some of these things. What else? I do like the idea of having some of the characters in worlds that aren't theirs. So sounds like we have to play the remix.
Sounds
it's
like
good.
We gotta.
It's really good.
I think that's it for me.
What if you could make like challenge playlists, right? And like share those with your friends? That'd be really cool.
That'd be
That's good
really
stuff.
cool. Yeah, because some of them I was like, and I was really happy to see that there were like Mario only ones, which was cool. But
like when you there is a package of just the Koopas kids. Like you have to fight them them all back to back to back to back, and like that's like, oh, that's great. Like I would definitely do that myself if I was given the.
And that's like how they're presented in the party mode.
In the party mode, when you're you can play individual ones, or you can play like pre-selected packages of them.
Oh, that's cool, because that is not how any of the single player works.
Right. Yeah. Like one of them is called like climbing to the top, and it's like a bunch of challenges where you're just scaling things in different games and stuff. So it's
Ice
like
Climber, Metroid,
Mario 2,
example.
that level where you have to go all the way up to the
there was another one where it was like, that's a hard move or tough move or something like that, and it was a collection of some of the more difficult things to do in the Mario games, like the freaking one of the cloud levels where you're just like jumping from cloud to cloud, and the spinny things are going.
Guys,
the spinny things,
that's cool.
Yeah, that was one interesting thing where it was like, oh, some of these like stages in Mario 3, like I just don't see a lot because I don't play. I'm not in World 5 that often, or World 6 or 7.
Yeah, there's also an interesting thing that happens in those where like I'll play a level like I would if I were encountering it like in the game itself in Mario 3 and Mario 2, whatever. And then, I'd get like a straight B rank, and I'm like, well, wait a minute. That means I'm approaching this. Like my normal approach is, optimized not for speed, but for getting through the level safely. There's something I'm missing.
Yes.
So like there's the challenge, the Super Mario Brothers 2 challenge, where you have to, as Luigi, you got to like get the key and like unlock the door. And normally you kind of like wait for that little guy on the magic carpet, and you pluck him off of it, and you ride the carpet over. But if you do that, you're never going to get an A+ or S rank, because what you have to do is just like run and jump off some bees and just like skip the whole flying carpet. And it's just cool that the game is like, no, the way that you've been doing this for 35 years is not the fastest way.
Yeah.
Well, specifically, the first challenge of getting Mario's mushroom, I've never gotten S on.
Oh.
I don't know how to get S on the mushroom challenge. Like I've only gotten A++. I don't know what frames I need to shave off of that thing, because I'm like, I don't know how else to do it. I'm like doing it the same. Like I'm going.
Do you go through the bottom, or do you jump over? Do you jump over the question boxes and then come back around and then do get the mushroom, or do you go all the way on the ground level the whole time.
What I do is I do a little hop over the Goomba, hit the block, and then go from the right side up.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's what I do too.
That's what I do as well. But I've seen people go from the left side, like hit the block, and then like have already started like moonwalking and jump back up and around from the left side.
That's probably how you get the S. Do you have an S on that?
I do have an S on that, but that is not how I did it from going around the right.
It's so funny because I did that challenge like it must have been like 20 times, being like, what the hell is going on?
What am I missing?
Yeah. And Mario 1's tricky too, the physics of Mario 1, because it's a lot of slip slidey. The jumps are sort of strange. You can't hop high off of a Goomba. We also didn't talk anything about Lost Levels challenges. Maybe
I
we'll
don't
save
think we
that.
will.
But one is like specifically get the poison mushroom in that 1-1 stage, which is just like, I'm like, I love this. Okay. Any last thoughts on Nintendo World Championships NES edition?
Did we want to talk any more about the special edition?
Oh,
What
please,
comes in it?
please.
You mentioned the pins before.
The pins. That is a gorgeous pin set.
It's such a and they are representative of the pins that you earn in the game, and in the game you're earning like 100 pins. Like every time you get an A rank or higher in a challenge, you get a pin. But it's a set of like 5 pins, each one from a different game. There's like Zelda, Donkey Kong, Mario, and they're just awesome. They look so good.
Yeah,
they're gold.
The whole set. The whole box is just so classic and good looking. I mean, I just like love it. It's like what's the word where it's like it's raised. Some of the text is raised on the front. It just felt like a really embossed. It just felt like a really nice package of just exactly what you want from this.
Yeah. Well, and I've held it up here. I'm going to hold it up again. The gold cartridge.
The cart.
It's beautiful. There was a release a couple years ago. The original Fire Emblem.
Got it. No problem.
On the NES, you got the special edition as well.
Big time. That was during the pandemic when I was just going after like any big special edition box, and
we were all sick and
it.
sad. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
But that also came with a fake NES cart. It's like a clear glass one.
Yeah.
And now so now I have 2, and I'm like, what?
And neither of them play.
Neither of them play, and only one of them is out, and only for right now. I don't know how much longer I can keep this game cart out before Sarah asks me to put it away.
Yeah.
But it is out right now, and I just wish I had like a space and an unending, run of novelty NES carts.
It's really cool. Like I'm sure you could like go on Etsy and probably find people who are like, yeah, you don't want to do that.
No.
The official ones, though, like those are really nice. Do you know of any others that have been officially released by Nintendo like that?
Ooh, I don't.
Regardless, I would say that I always struggle with this with like badass packages like this, where I'm like, how do I display this? Like, how would I even showcase the cool stuff that comes in this box other than just sealing it all away in a hyperbolic time chamber and burying it in my backyard? Like, how would you go about,
I mean, you're talking to an amiibo collector here, and I don't have a solution. Like, I've got 3 giant boxes in the bedroom here that are full of amiibo, and I cycle them like they are full, like to bursting with amiibo. And I've got a little display case that lives in our living room that fits exactly 16 amiibo.
I've seen that. Do you rotate them in and out? Which ones go in there?
I do absolutely rotate them in and out.
I love that. Is it seasonal? Is it like these are the Christmas
the
gang?
autumn
I wish there
ones.
was Christmas ones. It's so when Tears of the Kingdom came out, I put as many Zelda amiibo in there as would fit. When Luigi's Mansion 2 came out, I put a Luigi figure in there. So I try to like if it's like connected to something I'm playing and it'll fit, because they don't all fit. Some of them are too big to fit in there. But yeah, I'll try to leave them out. And like I said with this gold cartridge I'm going to hold up again.
So beautiful.
It's sitting. It is living right next to the TV right now. But maybe by the end of this weekend, it can't be there anymore. It just can't.
Maybe. Who's to say? Well, that's going to do it for that. We have a quick segment that we are going to do now called Question of the What? The Week?
Riddle me this! Riddle me that.
And again, these are questions, not riddles. This question comes, and by the way, folks, if you're listening to this and you're like, what the heck? How do I even ask a question? It's on our Discord. You got to get into that Discord. Get in the freaking Discord. It's great. Everyone's chopping it up in there.
Hey, I'm in the Discord.
Patrick's in the Discord, baby. He is constantly just roasting my ass in there. It's borderline inappropriate. Chaz Cheeto writes in, what game pods y'all listening to, if any? I know Connor is a mid-max guy. I think Jeremy has referenced Bonfireside Chat Pod. Do you still listen to that? And how about Watch Out for Fireballs? Patrick, you'd be probably happy to know that the whole chat blew up with Nintendo Cartridge Society recommends after this question came through.
It's a good podcast. We do a good podcast.
They do a good podcast, but I'm very curious, and Jackie, feel free to answer as well. What video game podcasts do you listen to? I will say I'll answer the Bonfireside Chat question. I will check in with a handful, like Bonfireside Chat and Watch Out for Fireballs, same hosts. I'll check in with them every now and then. Another one is called Kane and Rinse. And these are podcasts where they like take a game and they like really like they'll comb through it. So if you're into that style, those are good recommendations. I used to listen to Retronauts. I don't really do that anymore. The only video game podcast I really listen to week that isn't Nintendo Cartridge Society or Call Me by Your Game or Reactivators is.
I was gonna say, can we have just like a rule where we don't have to say that we listen to each other's podcasts?
Yes,
okay,
that's
great.
fine. Yes, thank you. Although I already did it, so I already look like a fucking idiot.
Just like a huge fucking idiot.
The Jeff Gersman show is, Jeff Gersman started Giant Bomb, and then he got fired from Giant Bomb, and started his own thing. And it's just him talking, and, he's been in the games industry for like 30 plus years. He knows what he's talking about. I love to hear his takes. I heard someone say this on a podcast once that like he's one of the clearest examples we have of somebody aging in the games industry gracefully.
Sure.
Like,
right.
Yeah, it's like it's still such a new art form. We haven't really seen that yet, like an old ass person gamer. But anyways,
hasn't gone like crazy alt-right.
Yes, right, exactly. Yeah. Even the youngins will go crazy alt-right.
Yeah.
You got to watch out for that.
For the subs.
For the subs, baby. I
listen to one video game podcast. Only one video game podcast.
Which is?
Inside Video Games Classic.
Oh!
Killer.
God damn it. Okay. Patrick, are you listening to any? Oh, and I will say Mid-Max is very good. I do like that show. I've started liking that show a lot. Patrick, what about you?
Well, of course, I do listen to our friends' podcasts. It feels weird.
Okay, sorry.
It feels weird to be like Super Gamer Boys and
you
guys and Connor Show and Reactivators, which are all shows that I do listen to. But for whatever reason, just it feels weird to me. A lot of the video game podcasts that I listen to now are podcasts that I listen to out of inertia because I listened to them at some point in my life, and now I just keep them on. I'm still subscribed to them. So like back in the early days, I was really into the IGN video game podcasts.
Oh yeah.
But like I can't hang with a Nintendo voice chat anymore. I don't like that show anymore. Beyond their PlayStation show, I don't like that show anymore. But Game Scoop, I still listen to every week. I like it when they play Video Game 20 Questions. I think Damon Hetfield is a pretty good host.
Yes, he's great.
and Sam Claiborne has this like arcane knowledge of pinball machines and like classic arcade games that I think are really interesting.
Tina
Lately-
Meany, I think, is on that show program.
Not anymore. She is working for Xbox now, but she was for a while. Yeah,
She was great on that show.
she was great on that show. And I've just noticed lately they've been saying a lot of things that aren't true lately, and I'm like, all right, guys.
Yeah.
And then sort of an offshoot of that, I have been a kind of funny guy for a long time, but I have to really pick and choose these days about which kind of funny podcasts I listen to, because they get so like video game culture pilled, right? And where it's just like there are narratives that they like spin up or like are part of, and it's just like, I don't know, it feels like boring shit where they're just like, here's the line that we as video game players all agree is like true about this company or this game or this series or whatever, and I just get bored of it. I want to listen to more weirdos talk about games, which is why I like you guys.
You're touching on something that's very interesting, and in an effort to not directly. And I'm so bad at this because
I don't want to talk shit.
I know exactly. I don't want to either because these are they're in the trenches just like us. You know,
they're just like us.
They're just like us, and they're in the and you know what? They're also family. No, to not just like directly disparage anyone, even though I do love doing that. I will say that there is a sort of there's talking too fast, hype cycle. Version of a podcast that I really struggle with. And I think it's I think it just has to do with they're trying to get a lot of information out really quick and they want to be positive. I think it comes from a genuine place of trying to not be toxic and not be negative. But the truth is these are companies and products.
Yes.
And it's okay to be negative because at the end of the day, fuck Nintendo. I mean, come on.
At the end of the day, fuck Nintendo.
Yeah, at the end of the day, they're using like child labor. Okay, but I guess I more just mean like, it's the over hypification of stuff is just, and it's probably just like my old ass brain that just is just like over it, but.
No, I mean it is like fascinating that like video game podcasts as a genre are really just like voluntary commercials for products that we're guilty of it too, and just being like, yeah, we're talking about everything Nintendo does. I'm buying everything they make this year.
It's weird it didn't feel like that 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It felt like we were all of the rebellion. We were all on the front line of something. It was like guerrilla reporting or something. But now it really has been illuminated over the years. Oh, we are just doing product placement, like the show.
Yeah. Well, and like a lot of it, and like you'll hear it, and again is true for us as well. But like. The people who are reviewing things for like other podcasts or websites or whatever are usually fans of the genre or of the series. And like, I guess that is the more valuable perspective because you can get like a wider look at like what it means in the context. But 100%. It's also kind of like, I don't know, like there's a literary analysis that's missing to a lot of game discussions. And again, weirdos like the whole Super NPC crowd are like engaging in that sort of thing, or just being fun goofballs and having like fun instead of just like sucking a game's dick for 90 minutes.
Yeah. Why is there a pressure? Where is it coming from to only be positive in your reviews of like games?
Well, I want to caveat by saying I don't feel this pressure, and I don't think like maybe Patrick, you probably don't feel that pressure, but I think there is
to be positive.
I think there's like bigger podcasts out there that are trying to not, if I'm understanding them correctly, and I think some of them have said as much, are not trying to add to the negative noise out there of hating on games because gaming culture can be quite toxic. So they're
Yeah.
really bad.
they're trying to
Got
present
Donald Trump elected.
right.
Eight
Right.
years ago,
Yeah, they're trying to present a like, hey, we're a positive, inclusive atmosphere here, and I think that's great. But sometimes it can come off as, well, they have no critical sense of anything. Like they're so far away from criticizing anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I think that's just a flavor that can sometimes be grating.
Well, what's interesting is that like there's also the idea that like you listen to podcasts because you develop like a parasocial relationship with the host, right?
Mhm.
And like it's more fun to spend time with your friend when they're happy. And if you're listening to your friend and they're just bitching about something that you sort of like or you were sort of excited about, that's not that fun.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think that's also part of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like that particular type of personality. The line between like critical thinking and mistaking cynicism for intelligence is like so thin.
Yeah.
And I feel like
yes,
the video games community really draws in some of those folks who are like,
Well, because we're not that smart. So at the end of the
real
day,
dumb.
at the end of the day, we are trying to wax poetic on things we should not be.
And there's also a lot of like performative negativity too.
right,
So, like,
right, like trolling and just,
Angry
like,
video game nerd, right?
Yeah.
To throw
He's
out
like the example, yeah,
Yeah.
but like kind of a harmless one in the long run, right?
Sure.
You know, it's not like what's this guy like Grums? What's this guy's deal? Who's like the current like ringleader of Gamergate 2.0?
Grimes.
Oh no, Grimes.
No, it's not.
Is it Grimes? Oh no.
No, Grimes just now was like, I love my trans daughter. She was good.
Oh,
good.
good.
Grimes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Grimes.
We like Grimes now again.
We like Grimes now.
Grimes is communist again, so this is good.
That's good.
She's found herself again.
That's good. I like that.
Great. We have one other question. Trapezoid writes in, what do you all feel is the best individual song from any 16-bit era video game? For me, it's either Corridors of Time from Chrono Trigger or Brinstar, parentheses green theme from Super Metroid. Patrick, what's that about? Green is a different song?
Yeah, it's the green. So in Brinstar, there are like kind of two parts to it. There's that kind of like purpley, like cherry blossom part, or not purple, like pink. And then there's when you go into like the green area, it's like one big open room, and like towards the top of it is where that plant boss thing is.
Oh yeah, right. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I'll go first. Mine, to this day, my favorite 16-bit song ever composed is Chemical Plant Zone from Sonic 2.
Pretty good.
It's an absolute fucking banger. I just cannot. It might be one of my favorite songs ever. It's just it just rips. What about you? You got anything?
I'm resisting the urge to be a pedantic fuck,
Uh-huh.
but I
No,
feel
do
like
it. We like it. We like it
feel
on the
like
show.
I gotta be a pedantic fuck.
Go, do it.
Who asked this? Is it Chaz Cheeto?
No, it's Trapezoid.
Trapezoid.
Trapezoid. Technically, for a piece of music to be a song, it needs to have singing and lyrics. Otherwise, it is just a piece of music, motherfucker. So, in the spirit of the question, the best 16-bit
In the spirit
song,
of Christmas.
yes, in the spirit of Christmas, it's got to be the opera from Final Fantasy VI.
Great.
Which was one of like the first pieces I learned to play on the piano, and it's just tied to such an awesome like story beat moment in that game. Yeah, and I love the way that like really crappy like sampled voice singing sounds.
Yeah,
you know,
technically
like,
your answer is a song. And Jackie, I believe you do know the lyrics to the song, right? Take it away.
Yep. To Final Fantasy VI, the opera,
And take it away.
Cloud and Tifa.
Okay,
wrong one.
we are out of here. We are donezo with that. No, I think I also would put the Final Fantasy VI, like whatever the theme is that plays at the beginning of that game. That's like them going through the snow, and it's
Yeah.
do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
It
Good
fucking
stuff.
rules. Yeah.
That
Jackie,
is
what's
yeah.
oh, well, hold on. Even if you can't pinpoint it to like a 16-bit generation, is there a piece of video game music that you like?
Me?
Yeah, I was gonna
Oh,
say
Jack.
no
Oh,
me.
nice.
I was
Sorry.
yeah.
God damn it.
I was gonna say the only song that I think about frequently from any video game is not from a 16-bit video game, but it is Bowser's theme song from Mario 64.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that is good. Okay, we got to get out of here. Folks, that's going to do it for Video Games, a comedy show. Let's go ahead and plug. Jackie, let's start with you. What are you plugging these days? Work?
Yeah, where can you find me? You can
Yeah.
find me in the shadows of your weekly stream.
Uh-huh.
I don't have social media, so you can't find
Yeah.
me anywhere on the
Whoa.
interwebs. So
We all, oh, man,
That's so
You can
cool.
find me on
so
my
lucky,
LinkedIn.
so lucky.
you can find me on LinkedIn.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
I take it back. It's not cool anymore.
the worst one. All right, Patrick Ehlers, where can people find you?
Well, they can, of course, listen to the Nintendo Cartridge Society podcast, where we try not to be overly positive or too inside baseball or whatever. We have fun talking about Nintendo. And then, of course, if you are interested in the IDW run of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I wrote the dang source book. It's like an encyclopedia of every character and magic weapon and event that happens over the course of like 250 issues of that comic. So issues 1 through 3 are in comic book stores now. Issue 4 comes out in September, and the whole collection comes out in January. So look for that.
Wait, I have a
Wow.
question. I have a question for Patrick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Out of all 4 of the Ninja Turtles, who do you identify with the most?
Ooh, who do I identify with the most?
Ooh, that's not your favorite. That's who you
Yeah,
identify
it's-
with.
It's not. It's so my favorite is Michelangelo.
But you're not
be-
him. You're not
But
him.
I'm not. Well, because I like him because he's the most emotionally intelligent of the turtles.
Mhm.
And that's not me.
Well,
Hmm.
I was more going with the, goofball pizza guy. You're not that.
And that's not me.
No.
Did you know that I, when I was a child, I declared that I wouldn't like pizza until I was 5 years old?
I didn't know that about you,
Yeah.
but I do now.
And then I did. Donatello. I'd say that I
That's
relate
good.
to Donatello and that I can be too obsessive about things and sort of lose myself in my work from time to time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I'll say I relate to Donatello.
Ah, I love that. You can find me on Twitter at Ocarina of Crime. You can follow the show on Twitter at VGA Comedy Show. This show is produced by the great Connor McCabe. You can follow him on Twitter at Connor_McCabe and listen to his podcast, Call Me By Your Game, anywhere podcasts can be found.
Jeremy, I just got to know, before the end of this podcast, will you become the clown prince of Ocarina of Crime?
Oh, absolutely not. Sorry, not in this one. But maybe in the next
Director
one I
says.
will. Yeah.
Director
says Jeremy will not become the clown prince of Ocarina of Crime in Joker 2.
Right.
Director says.
Director says.
Patreon.com/Super NPC Radio. Check it out. We'll be back next week with something else. Bye-bye.
Thank you.